So this may be the most pointless video that I ever make, and I say may because there's always room for improvement. The background of this is I was looking through videos that I could make. I have a whole list of video ideas, and all of them would be probably longer than 40 minutes, but my external hard drive is in the shop right now getting repaired, so I can't edit any of those videos onto my computer because I don't have enough storage for it, so I gotta keep making short videos until my hard drive is fixed. I find that I ask myself numerous questions every single day, and we don't need to get into those, but the most prevalent of which, of course, is, where do Elsa's magical transformation dresses go? So I thought today we could analyze the canon of Elsa's magical dresses. So we first see Elsa remove her glove and her cloak in Frozen 1 during Let It Go, around the 30-minute mark in the film. We found out 7 years later in Once Upon a Snowman that the cape at least blew into Olaf, which doesn't make sense when you compare the direction that the cape flew in comparison to the position that Olaf is in, but you know, whatever, that's not the point. Then we see Elsa replace her coronation gown with her Ice Queen gown at the end of Let It Go. And it's unclear whether Elsa is disintegrating her old gown and making a completely new ice dress, or if she's just repurposing the old dress, but I am inclined to believe the latter because in other Disney properties, like Cinderella, the existence of the ball gown does not permanently destroy the existence of the initial dress. So, if anything, the initial dress is just temporarily repurposed into the ball gown. In WandaVision, a similar phenomena occurs when the agent's Kevlar uniform is magically transformed into one of Westview's vintage costume pieces without losing its Kevlar signature. Furthermore, it's unlikely that the blue Ice Queen gown is actually made of ice at all. First of all, if it were actually made of ice, Anna's hug would have melted it when she touches Elsa. Also, it's unlikely that the thin cape, which extends far away from Elsa herself, would have remained cold enough to stay intact, especially when it's touching hot surfaces like streets in summer when she returns to Arendelle. And it doesn't look like it's permafrost either because it lacks the permafrost pattern that we see on Olaf in Frozen 2. But all of that assumes that Elsa is actually freezing cold to begin with, which is also canonically not true because in 2015's Frozen Fever, Anna exclaims that Elsa's burning up.
Elsa, look at you. You've got a fever. You're burning up.
Thus, it's extremely unlikely that the dress here is made of ice material. It's more likely that it's actually a magically repurposed coronation dress made of real actual dress material. The next time we see an Elsa dress transformation on screen is in 2015's Frozen Fever, where Elsa changes the blue gown into the green gown. She also changes Anna's gown, adding some petticoats underneath, and if Anna doesn't have ice powers to maintain the dress, then it would melt, very quickly. Another idea is that the dresses are ephemeral and they melt when they're no longer maintained, but I feel like that's really a reach. Elsa's blue gown is also shown in the Frozen family portrait, so I guess she either wears the dress all the time, or more likely this is her best dress and she wears it for special events, like her portrait painting or for Anna's birthday celebration. Regardless, this dress would have to hang in her closet at some point, even if it's just at night, and so it's impossible that the snow dress would actually stay frozen without Elsa's magic maintaining it, or permafrost. It's also possible that Elsa has more than one blue gown and makes a new one every time she needs it, but that's a lot of work. So, using the same logic as before, it can be inferred that Elsa's green dress is a repurposing of the blue dress, which in itself is a repurposing of the coronation dress. So, in short, the Frozen Fever dress is probably made out of the coronation dress. Our third Elsa dress change is in Show Yourself in 2019's Frozen 2. This time the spirits change her travel dress into her spirit dress. The travel dress was most likely not made of ice either because when Elsa swims in the salty ocean, which must be warmer than freezing, her dress does not deteriorate. Therefore, chances are that this dress is also fabric. In detail shots of her travel dress, we see the sparkles are sequins too, they're not just chunks of ice. And despite the impracticality of these dresses being made completely of ice, Brittany Lee, one of the development artists behind Elsa, states that almost everything she wears was created using her magic and is balanced between being made entirely of ice and the practical needs of each situation. It's also stated that Elsa's magical dresses don't have any seams at the bust, neckline, or hem, but then some of Elsa's ice dresses do have seams, so I'm confused. Personally, I think it makes the most sense that Elsa can only create magical dresses out of existing dresses. Her other ice powers are strictly limited to ice and ice objects, like Olaf and Marshmallow in the Ice Palace and those little sculptures she makes for the kids at the beginning of Frozen 2. All of these things could conceivably melt once it gets hot, but the dresses never do. So I think the most likely reason behind Elsa's dresses is that she redesigns real fabric clothes into fancier fabric clothes. I realize my argument here is ice thin. Thank you. So Elsa's dresses don't make sense, and this video doesn't either. Bye!
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Do you like my dress? It's Halloween. We love a good Halloween dress.